प्राप्तस्य कल्याणगुणानवास्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम्। महाप्रभु कीर्तन नित्य गीता वादित्र माध्यान मंसोर सेना। रोमांच कंपा शुतरंग बाजो वन्दे गुरु श्री चरणारविन्दम्। श्री विग्रहाराधा नित्य नाना श्रृंगार तन्मंदिर मर्जनादा। युक्तस्य भक्तं च युञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरु श्री चरणारविन्दम्। चतुर्विधा श्री भगवत् प्रसादा स्वाधन्न तृप्तन् हरिभक्त संगन्। कृत्यैव तृप्तिं भजतो सदैव वन्दे गुरु श्री चरणारविन्दम्। श्री राधिका माधवयोरपारा माधुर्य लीला गुणरूप नाम्नाम्। प्रतीक्षणा स्वाधनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरु श्री चरणारविन्दम्। निकुंज यूनो रतिकेली सीत्यै यायालिभियोक्तिरपेक्षणीया। तत्रातिदाक्षाततिवल्लभास्य वन्दे गुरु श्री चरणारविन्दम्। साक्षाद्धरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रैर्युक्तस्तथा भाव्यथैव शाब्दी। किन्तु प्रभुर्यः प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरु श्री चरणारविन्दम्। यश प्रसादात् भगवत् प्रसादो यश प्रसादा न गति कुतोऽपि। ध्यायन्स्तुवन्तस्य यशस्विसन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम् संसारधावाननिधलोका त्रणय कारुण्या घना घना त्वम् प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणानवास्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम् नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रष्टाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Jai Radha Nila Madhav, Radha Nila Madhav Shri Radhe. Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe. जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शन चक्र जय सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव श्री राधा नील माधव की जय
Jai Om Shripada Brahmamsa Pradika Acharya Shtota Shata Shishma His Divine Grace Abharachana Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBTBI Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Shripada Brahmamsa Pradika Acharya Shtota Shata Shishma His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Premise Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Mayapur Ki Jai Shri Purushottam Chaitra Jagannath Dham Ki Jai Shri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samavrita Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapate सिंहमादिं शरणं प्रपते तव करकमलवरे नाखाम् अद्भुतसिंहां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो तनुभृङ्गा केशवदिता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवदिता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नरसिंह भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
प्रेयसी नमो नमः। तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः। राधा कृष्ण सेवा पाबो ये अभिलाषी। राधा कृष्ण सेवा पाबो ये अभिलाषी। जे कुमार शरण लय तारा वांछ पूर्ण होय। कृपा करी करो तारे वृंदावनवासी। मोरा ये अभिलाष विलास कुंजे दियो वास। नयने हेरिबो सदा जुगल रूप राशि। दरो साकिरनुगत करो सेवाधिकार दिए करो निज दासी। दीन कृष्ण दासे को ये न मोरा होय। श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा जैन बासी। श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा जैन बासी। नमो नमः। तुलसी कृष्ण प्रदक्षिणपादे पदे यानि कानि जपपानि ब्रह्मचर्यानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणपदे पदे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी जय जय प्रभुपाल 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 जय जय प्रभुपाल जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः
Goes to Shivan Davana Dham. Thus within my vision shows behold the beautiful path and Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me follow Karho Danso's Virgin. Please give me the privilege devotional service and make me own maidservant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna prays. May I always swim the love Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulasi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 offenses in the matter of chant holy names that should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who dedicate their life for propagating holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider name the demigods Lord Shiva or Brahma to be equal to independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature pursuant to Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to holy name the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on strength of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna when auspiciously choose activities, offering the Veda the fruity activities, karma, ganda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glorious holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments in understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee claims salvation must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us offer the most humble obeisance unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Their desired trees who can fulfill to everyone, and their full compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. One child. श्री चैतन्य शिक्षास्तकम की जय। चेतो दर्पण मार्जनम भवमहादावाग्नि निर्वापनम श्रीय कैरव चंद्रिका वितरणम विद्यावधू जीवनम आनंदम भुदिवर्धनम प्रतिपदम पूर्णामिता साधनम सर्वात्मस्नपनम परम विजयते श्री कृष्ण संकीर्तनम नाम नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस् तत्रापिता नियमितः स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुरुदैवमिदिशं यः जनिनानुरागः त्रिनाथपि सुनिजेन थरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरिः न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनि जमनीश्वरे भवता भक्तिर्हैतुकी त्वयि अयि नन्दतनुज किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवां पुनः कृपया तव पादपङ्कज स्थितदूरी सद्वेषं विचिन्तय नयनं गलदाश्रुतारय वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकै निश्चितं वपुर्कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रविशा इतं शून्या इतं जगत् सर्वं गोविन्द विरहेण मे आश्रिष वा पादरतां पिन्नस्तु माम् अदर्शनां मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पतो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Glory to Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all that does accumulate for years and extinguishes fire of conditional life for repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is prime benediction of humanity at large, because it spreads a reason and benediction moon. It is life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases ocean transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction of human beings. Thus we have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have vested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out kindness enables us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name, Lord, in humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Ananda Krishna, I am eternal servitor, yet somehow I fall in the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me at one of the Adam's or lotus feet. O my Lord, while my eyes bedeck with tears, love flowing constant when I chant your holy name, while my voice choke up, my hairs, my body stand at the station of your name. O Govinda, feeling of separation, I'm considering the moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and shall remain so if he handles me roughly by his embrace. how makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything, everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Shri Mangala Charna prayers ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Litam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pachadadesha Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ti Namine Shri Varshapani Videvi Daitaya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhavin Namaha Madhuryo Jala Prematya Shri Rupa Nukha Bhaktita Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Mutaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Svarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Vir Bhava Bhumistvam Nyatishta Sajana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jaganathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpa Turupishcha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishin Namaha Pancha Tadvatamakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakham Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karna Sindho Dinapanto Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Sratoro Pangor Mamamanta Materkati Masarva Swapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Divindadanya Kalpadumata Shimadra Nagara Singhasanasto Shrimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtaribi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasa Rasarambi Vamsivata Tatastitaha Karsham Venu Saner Gopir Gopinatha Shriyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishvali Vishabhanu Sute Devi Panamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Mangalacharna prayers ki jai. Shri Brahma Samhita ki jai. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadya Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Parakara Satmasukha Praviksha Lakshariteshu Surabhi Ravi Palayantam Lakshmi Sahasa Shatasam Pramasevyamanam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Venun Kavanantam Marazinda Dalayataksham Parhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Gantarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Alola Chantaka Lasa Vanamare Vamshi Ranangadam Panaya Keli Kalavilasam Shamam Tipanga Lalitam Yata Prakasham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Angani Yasa Sakalindriya Vritti Manti Pashanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti आनन्दचिन्मयसतुचलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अद्वैतमच्युतमनादिमनन्तरूपम् आद्यं पुराणपुरुषं नवयौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभमदुर्लभम् आत्मभक्तो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि पन्थास्तु कोटिशतवत्सरसम्प्रगाम्यो वायुरथाभिमनसो मुनिपङ्गवानं सोऽप्यस्ति यः विचिन्त्य तद्वे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि एकोऽप्यसौरचयितुं जगदन्तकोटिं या शक्तिरस्ति जगदन्तजयायतन्तः अन्तन्तरस्थपरमाणुचयन्तरस्थं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यद्भावभावितधियो मनुजास्तथैव सम्प्राप्य रूपमहिमासनयानपूषाः सुक्तर्यम् एव निगमपतितैस्तुवन्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मरसपरिभाविताभिस्ताभिः च रूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसति खिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि प्रेमाञ्जनचुरुधभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि रामादिमूर्तिषु कलानियमेन तिष्ठन् नानावतारमकरो भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्ण स्वयं समभवत् परमपुमां यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि Krishna, who is Govinda, the Supreme Godhead, has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and the prime cause of all causes.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with the figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always reveals in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shyam Sundar is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha. Yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayam by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and He is present in His fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adored the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise man, who is imbued with devotion, sign the mantra
Sing them.
suktas told by the Vedas by beginning their appropriate beauty, greeting,
Greatness.
greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Golok, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities, in the company of her competent Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual pressure.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Syam Sundara, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion, taking with the self of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, etc. as his subjective portions. Sri Brahma Samhita ki jai. Bhagavad Gita 7.1 purport. Srinvatam swakata Krishna punya sravana kirtanaha hridayanta histo hi abhadrani vidinoti suhrit satam nasta prayeshva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayasche चेत एतेर अनावेदम स्थितम सत्वे प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवत भक्ति योगतः भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथेश्चिद्यन्ते सर्वसमस्याः क्षियन्त चश्म कर्माणि दृष्टा एवात्मनीश्वरे.
To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity, and for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him.
In this way, a devotee naturally develops the dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord.
By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the signs of God perfectly.
Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of Asamsayam Samagram, understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth Personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the signs of Krishna. We'll continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 17. Dharma uvacha etadva pandaveyanam yuktam artha bhayam vachaha yesham gunaghanai krishno dautyadau bhagavan kritaha. Dharma uvacha, the personality of religion said, etat, all these, va, by you, pandaveyanam, of those who are in the Pandava dynasty, yuktam, just befitting, artha, the sufferer, abhayam, freedom from all fears, vacha, speeches, yesham, those, gunaganai, by the qualifications, Krishna, even Lord Krishna, dautya adav, the duty of a messenger, etc., Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, kritaha, performed. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The personality of religion said, These words just spoken by you befit a person of the Pandava dynasty. Captivated by the devotional qualities of the Pandavas, even Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, performed duties as a messenger. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The assurances and challenges made by Maharaja Parikshit are never exaggerations of his real power. The Maharaja said that even the denizens of heaven could not escape his stringent government if they were violators of religious principles. He was not falsely proud, for a devotee of the Lord is equally as powerful as the Lord, or sometimes more powerful by His grace, and any promise made by a devotee, though it may be ordinarily very difficult to fulfill, is properly executed by the grace of the Lord. The Pandavas, by their unalloyed devotional service and full surrender unto the Lord, made it possible for the Lord to become a chariot driver or sometimes their letter messenger. Such duties executed by the Lord for his devotee are always very pleasing to the Lord, because the Lord wants to render service to his unalloyed devotees, whose life has no other engagement than to serve the Lord with full love and devotion. Maharaja Parikshit, grandson of Arjuna, the celebrated friendly servitor of the Lord, was a pure devotee of the Lord like his grandfather, and therefore the Lord was always with him, even from the time when he was helplessly lying in the womb of his mother and was attacked by the blazing Brahmastra weapon of Aswadhama. A devotee is always under the protection of the Lord, and therefore the assurance of protection by Maharaja Parikshit could never be without meaning. The personality of religion accepted this fact and thus thanked the king for his being true to his exalted position.
Text 18. न वयं क्लेशबीजानि यतः स्युः पुरुषर्षभ पुरुषं तं बीजानीमो वाक्यभेदविमोहिता. Synonyms: na, not; vayam, we; klesht bijani, the root cause of suffering; yata, where from; syuh, it so happens; purusar, purus risabh, o greatest of all human beings; purusam, the the person; tam, that; bijanima, no; vakya bhed, difference of opinion; vimohita, bewildered by. O great among human beings, it is difficult to ascertain the particular miscreant who has caused our sufferings, because we are bewildered by all the different opinions of theoretical philosophers, purported by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are many theoretical philosophers in the world who put forward their own theories of cause and effect, especially about the cause of suffering and its effect on different living beings. Generally, there are six great philosophers: Kanada, the author of Vaisesika philosophy; Gautam, the author of the logic; Patanjali, the author of mystic yoga; Kapila, the author of Sankhya philosophy; Jaimini, the author of Karma Mimamsa; and Vyasdev, the author of Vedanta Darshan. Although the bull, or the personality of religion, and the cow, the personality of the earth, knew perfectly well that the personality of Kali was the direct cause of their suffering, still, as devotee of the Lord, they knew well also that without the sanction of the Lord, no one could inflict trouble upon them. According to the Padma Puran, our present trouble is due to the fructifying of seedling sins. But even those seedling sins also gradually fade away by execution of pure devotional service. Thus, even if the devotees see the mischief mongers, they do not accuse them for the suffering inflicted. They take it for granted that the mischief mongers is made to act by some indirect cause, and therefore they tolerate the sufferings, thinking them to be God given in small doses, for otherwise the sufferings would have been greater. Maharaj Parikshit wanted to get a statement of accusation against the direct mischief monger, but they declined to give it on the above mentioned grounds. Speculative philosophers, however, do not recognize the sanction of the Lord. They try to find out the cause of the sufferings in their own way, as will be described in the following verses. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, such speculators are themselves bewildered, and thus they cannot know that the ultimate cause of all cause is the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead.
Cato 1, 17 chapter 19 text. केचिदव विकल्पवस्ना आहुरात्मानमात्मनः दैवमन्ये परे कर्म स्वभावं परे प्रभुम्. Synonyms. Caches, some of them. Vikalpavasna, those who deny all kinds of duality. Ahu, declare. Atmanam, own self. Atmanaha, of the self. Devam, superhuman. Ane, others. Apare, someone else. Karma, activity. Swabhavam, material nature. Apare, many other. Prabhum, authorities. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Some of the philosophers who deny all sorts of duality declare that one's own self is responsible for his personal happiness and distress. Others say that supreme human powers are responsible, while yet others say that activity is responsible, and the gross materialists maintain that nature is the ultimate cause. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. As referred to above, philosophers like Jamini and his followers establish that fruitive activity is the root cause of all distress and happiness, and that even if there is a superior authority, some superhuman powerful god or gods, he or they are also under the influence of fruitive activity because they reward result according to one's action. They say that action is not independent because action is performed by some performer. Therefore, the performer himself is the cause of his own happiness and distress. In the Bhagavad Gita 6.5, also it is confirmed that by one's mind, freed from material affection, one can deliver himself from the sufferings of material pangs. So, one should not entangle oneself in matter by the mind's material affections. Thus, one's own mind is one's friend or enemy in one's material happiness and distress. Atheistic, materialistic Sankhyaitists conclude that material nature is the cause of all causes. According to them, combinations of material elements are the causes of material happiness and distress, and disintegration of matter is the cause of freedom from all material pangs. Gautama and Kanada find that atomic combination is the cause of everything, and impersonalists like Astokara discovered that the spiritual influence of Brahman is the cause of all causes. But in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord Himself declares that He is the source of impersonal Brahman, and therefore He, the personality of Godhead, is the ultimate cause of all causes. It is also confirmed in the Brahma Samhita that Lord Krishna is the ultimate cause of all causes.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 20. Apratarkaryad anirdeshyad iti keshav api nischaya atra nurupam rajase vimshrasva manishaya. Aparatarkyat, beyond the power of reasoning. Anirdeshyat, beyond the power of thinking. Iti, thus, keshu, someone. Api, also, nischaya, definitely concluded. Atra, herein, anurupam, which of them is right? Rajarshe, O sage amongst the kings. Vimsra, judge yourself. Swa, by your own. Manishaya, power of intelligence. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. There are also some thinkers who believe that no one can ascertain the cause of distress by argumentation, nor know it by imagination, nor express it by words. O sage amongst kings, judge for yourself by thinking over all this with your own intelligence. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Vaishnavites, the devotees of the Lord, do believe, as above explained, that nothing can take place without the sanction of the Supreme Lord. He is the supreme director, for he confirms the Bhagavad Gita 15.15 that he is all pervading Paramatma, stays in everyone's heart and keeps vigilance over all actions and witnesses all activities. The argument of the atheist that one cannot be punished for one's misdeeds unless proved before a qualified justice is refuted herein. For we accept the perpetual witness and constant companion of the living being. A living being may forget all that he might have done in this past or present life, but one must know that in the same tree of the material body, the individual soul and the supreme soul as Paramatma are sitting like two birds. One of them, the living being, is enjoying the fruits of the tree, whereas the supreme being is there to witness the activities. Therefore, the Paramatma feature, the supreme soul, is actually the witness of all activities of the living being, and only by his direction can the living being remember or forget what he might have done in the past. He is therefore both the all pervading impersonal Brahman and the localized Paramatma in everyone's heart. He is the knower of all past, present, and future, and nothing can be concealed from him. The devotees know this truth, and therefore they discharge their duties sincerely, without being overly anxious for rewards. Besides that, one cannot estimate the Lord's reactions either by speculation or by scholarship. Why does he put some into difficulty and not others? He is the supreme knower of the Vedic knowledge, and thus he is the factual Vedantist. At the same time, he is the compiler of the Vedanta. No one is independent of him, and everyone is engaged in his service in different ways. In the conditioned state, such services are rendered by the living being under force of the material nature, whereas in the liberated state, the living being is helped by the spiritual nature in the voluntary loving service of the Lord. There is no incongruity or inebriety in his actions. All are on the path of absolute truth. Bhishma Deva correctly estimated the inconceivable actions of the Lord. The conclusion is, therefore, that the sufferings of the representative of religion and the representative of the earth as present before Maharaja Parikshit were planned to prove that Maharaja Parikshit was the ideal executive head because he knew well how to give protection to the cows, the earth, and the Brahmanas' religious principles, the two pillars of spiritual advancement. Everyone is under the full control of the Lord. He is quite correct in his action when he desires something to be done by someone, irrespective of the consideration of the particular case. Maharaja Parikshit was thus put to test for his greatness. Now let us see how he solves it by his sagacious mind.
Text 21, Canto 1, Chapter 17. Suta uvacha evam dharme pravadati sa samrad dvija sattamaha samahitena manasa vikeda paryachastatam. Suta uvacha, Suta Goswami said, evam so, dharme, the personality of religion, pravadati, thus having spoken, sa he, samrat, the emperor, Dvija Sattamaha, O best among the Brahmanas, Samahitena, with proper attention, Manasa, by the mind, Vikedaha, without any mistake, Paryachasta, counter replied, Tham, unto him. Translation, Suta Goswami said, O best among the Brahmanas, the Emperor Parikshit, thus hearing the personality of religion speak, was fully satisfied, and without mistake or regret, he gave his reply. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The statement of the bull, the personality of religion, was full of philosophy and knowledge, and the king was satisfied, since he could understand that the suffering bull was not an ordinary one. Unless one is perfectly conversant with the law of the Supreme Lord, one cannot speak such things touching philosophical truths. The emperor, being also an equal level of sagacity, replied to the point without doubts or mistakes.
Text 22, Canto 1, Chapter 17. Rajo Vacha Dharma Bravisi Dharmagya Dharmosi Brisarupadrik Yad Dharma Kita Sthanam Suchikasyapi Tadvet. Rajavach, the king said, Dharmam, religion, bravisi as you speak. Dharma kya? One who knows the code of religion. Dharma, the personality of religion. Asi, you are. Vrisarupudrik, in the disguise of a bull. Yet, whatever. Adharmakrita, one who act irreligiously. Sthanam, place. Suchakasya, of the identifier. Api, also. Tat, that. Bhavet, becomes. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The king said, O you who are in the form of a bull, you know the truth of religion, and you are speaking according to the principle that the destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious act is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. You are no other than the personality of religion. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A devotee's conclusion is that no one is directly responsible for being a benefactor or mischief monger without the sanction of the Lord. Therefore, he does not consider anyone to be directly responsible for such action. But in both the cases, he takes it for granted that either benefit or loss is God sent, and thus it is His grace. In case of benefit, no one will deny that it is God sent, but in case of loss or reverses, one becomes doubtful about how the Lord could be so unkind to his devotees as to put him in great difficulty. Jesus Christ was seemingly put into such great difficulty, being crucified by the ignorant, but he was never angry at the mischief mongers. That is the way of accepting a thing, either favorable or unfavorable. Thus, for a devotee, the antifier is equally a sinner, like the mischief monger. By God's grace, the devotee tolerates all reverses. Maharaj Parikshit observed this, and therefore he could understand that the bull was no longer no sorry, and he could understand that the bull was no other than the personality of religion himself. In other words, a devotee has no suffering at all, because so-called suffering is also God's grace for a devotee who sees God's God in everything. The cow and bull never placed any complaint before the king for being tortured by the personality of Kali, although everyone lodges such complaints before the state authorities. The extraordinary behavior of the bull made the king conclude that the bull was certainly the personality of religion, for no one else could understand the finer intricacies of the codes of religion.
Term 1, Chapter 17, Text 23. अथवा देव मायाया नूनं गते गोचरा चेतसो वचश्चापि भूतनामिति निश्चयः. Synonyms: अथवा, alternatively, deva, the Lord; maya, energies; nunam, very little; gati, movement; agochara, inconceivable; chetasah, either by the mind; vachasah, by words; cha, or api, also; bhutanam, of all living beings; iti, thus; nishchaya, concluded. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus, it is concluded that the Lord's energies are inconceivable. No one can estimate them by mental speculation or by word jugglery. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A question may be raised as to why a devotee should refrain from identifying an actor, although he knows definitely that the Lord is the ultimate doer of everything. Knowing the ultimate doer, one should not pose himself as ignorant of the actual performer. To answer this doubt, the reply is that the Lord is also not directly responsible, for everything is done by his deputed Maya Shakti or material energy. The material energy is always provoking doubts about the supreme authority of the Lord. The personality of religion knew perfectly well that nothing can take place without the sanction of the Supreme Lord, and still he was put into doubts by the deluding energy, and thus he refrained from mentioning the supreme cause. This doubtfulness was due to the contamination of both Kali and the material energy. The whole atmosphere of the age of Kali is magnified by the deluding energy, and the proportion of measurement is inexplicable.
Text 24, Canto 1, Chapter 17. तपःशौचं दया सत्यम् इति पादा कृते कृताः अधर्माय मां त्रयो भाग्नाः सम्यसङ्गामदैस्तवा. Tapah, austerity, saucham, cleanliness, daya, mercy, satyam, truthfulness, iti, thus, pada, legs, krute, in the age of Satya, kruta, established, adharma, irreligiosity, amsai, by the parts, trayaha, three combined, bhagnaha, broken, smaya, pride, sangha, too much association with women, madai, intoxication, tava, your. Translation. In the age of Satya, truthfulness, your four legs were established by the four principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, truthfulness. But it appears that three of your legs are broken due to rampant irreligion in the form of pride, lust for women, and intoxication. Hare Krishna. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The deluding energy or material nature can act upon the living beings proportionately in terms of the living beings falling prey to the deluding attraction of Maya. Moths are captivated by the glaring brightness of light, and thus they become prey to the fire. Similarly, the deluding energy is always captivating the conditioned souls to become prey to the fire of delusion. And the Vedic scriptures warn the conditioned soul not to become prey to the delusion but to get rid of it. The Vedas warn us, go not to the darkness of ignorance but to the progressive path of light. Vedas. The Lord Himself also warns that the deluding power of material energy is too powerful to overcome, but one who completely surrenders unto the Lord can easily do so. But to surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is also not very easy. Such surrender is possible by persons of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. These four principles of advanced civilization were remarkable features in the age of Satya. In that age, every human being was practically a qualified Brahmana of the highest order. And in the social orders of life, they were all Paramahamsas, or the topmost in the renounced order. By cultural standing, the human beings were not at all subjected to the deluding energy. Such strong men of character were competent enough to get away from the clutches of Maya. But gradually, as the basic principles of Brahmanical culture, namely austerity, cleanly, mercy, and truthfulness, became curtailed by proportionate development of pride, attachment for women, and intoxication, the path of salvation or the path of transcendental bliss retreated far, far away from the human society. With the progression of the age of Kali, people are becoming very proud and attached to women and intoxication. By the influence of the age of Kali, even a pauper is proud of his penny. The women are always dressed in an overly attractive fashion to victimize the minds of men. And the man is addicted to drinking wine, smoking, drinking tea, and chewing tobacco, etc. All these habits are so called advancement of civilization are the root causes of all irreligiosities, and therefore it is not possible to check corruption, bribery, and nepotism. Man cannot check all these evils simply by statutory acts and police vigilance. But he can cure the disease of the mind by the proper medicine, namely advocating the principles of Brahmanical culture or the principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. Modern civilization and economic development are creating a new situation of poverty and scarcity with the result of blackmailing the consumers' commodities. If the leaders and the rich men of the society spend 50% of their accumulated wealth mercifully for the misled mass of people and educate them in God consciousness, the knowledge of Bhagavatam, certainly the age of Kali, will be defeated in its attempt to entrap the conditioned souls. We must always remember that false pride or too high in estimation of one's own values of life, undue attachment to women or association with them, and intoxication will divert human civilization from the path of peace. However much the people clamor for peace in the world, the preaching of the Bhagavatam principles will automatically render all men austere, clean, both inside and outside, merciful to the suffering, and truthful in daily behavior. That is the way of correcting the flaws of human society, which are very prominently exhibited at the present moment.
Canto 1, Chapter 7, Text 17, Text 25. इदानीं धर्मपादस्ते सत्यं निर्व्यर्थद्येद्यतः तं जिघ्रेक्षाति अधर्मोऽयम् आनृत्यन्वेदितः कलिः. Idanim, at the present moment, Dharma, O personality of religion, Padaha, leg, Te, of you, Satyam, truthfulness, Nirva, they yet, hobbling along somehow or other, Yatha, whereby, Tam, that, Jigrikshati, trying to destroy. Adharmaha, the personality of ill religion. I am this, Enritana, by deceit. Editaha, flourishing. Kaliha, quarrel personified. Translation. You are now standing on one leg only, which is your truthfulness, and you are somehow or other hobbling along. But quarrel personified, Kali, flourishing by deceit, is also trying to destroy that leg. Purport. The principles of religion do not stand on some dogmas or man-made formulas, but they stand on four primarily regulative observances, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. The mass of people must be taught to practice these principles from childhood. Austerity means to accept voluntarily things which may not be very comfortable for the body, but are conducive for spiritual realization. For example, fasting. Fasting twice or 4 times a month is a sort of austerity which may be voluntarily accepted for spiritual realization only, and not for any other purpose. Pol- political, political, political or otherwise. Fasting, fastings which are meant not for self-realization but for some other purposes are condemned in the Bhagavad Gita 17.5 through 6. Similarly, cleanliness 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 is necessary both for the mind and for the body. Simply bodily cleanliness may help to get some extent, but cleanliness of the mind is necessary, and it is affected by it is affected by glorifying the Supreme Lord. No one can cleanse the accumulated mental dust without glorifying the Supreme Lord. A godless civilization cannot cleanse the mind because it has no idea of God. And for this simple reason, people under such a civilization could not have good qualifications, however they may be materially equipped. We have to see things by their resultant action. The resultant action of human civilization in the age of Kali is dissatisfaction. So everyone is anxious to get peace of mind. This peace of mind was complete in the Satya age because of the existence of the above mentioned attributes of the human beings. Gradually, these attributes have diminished in Treta Yuga to 3/4, in the Dwapara Yuga to half, and in this age of Kali to 1/4, which is also gradually diminishing on account of prevailing untruthfulness. By pride, either artificial or real, the resultant action of austerity is spoiled. By too much affection for female association, cleanliness is spoiled. By too much addiction to intoxication, mercy is spoiled. And by too much lying, propaganda, truthfulness is spoiled. The revival of Bhagavad Dharma can save human civilization from falling prey to evils of all description.
Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 26. Iyam cha bhumi bhagvata न्यासितोरो भरासति श्रीमद्भिस्तात पदन्यासे सर्वतः कृत कौतुका. Synonyms: Am, this, cha, and bhumi, surface of the earth, bhagavata, by the personality of Godhead, nyashita, being performed personally as well as by others, uru, great, bhara, burden, sati, being so done, shri, madbhi, by the all auspicious, tat, that, pada, nya, seh, footprints, sarvatah, all around, krita, done, kautuka, good fortune. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The burden of the earth was certainly diminished by the personality of Godhead and by others as well. When he was present as an incarnation, all good was performed because of his auspicious footprints.
Text 27. सोचत्य श्रुकला साध्वी दुर्भाग्य एवोजिता सती अब्राह्मण्या नृपव्याज्या शूद्रा भोक्ष्यन्ति मामिति. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Now see synonyms first. Sochati, lamenting. Asrukala, with tears in the eyes. Sadhvi, the chaste. Durbhaga, as if the most unfortunate. Iva, like. Ojita, forlorn. Sati, being so done. Abrahmanya, devoid of Brahminical culture. Nripivyaja, posed as the ruler. Sudra, lower class. Bhokshyanti, would enjoy. Mam, me, iti, thus. Now see the chaste one, being unfortunately forsaken by the personality of Godhead, laments her future with tears in her eyes, for now she is being ruled and enjoyed by lower class men who pose as rulers. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Kshatriya or the man who is qualified to protect the sufferers is meant to rule the state. Untrained lower class men or men without ambition to protect the sufferers cannot be placed on the seat of an administrator. Unfortunately, in the age of Kali, the lower class men without training occupy the post of a ruler by strength of popular votes. And instead of protecting the sufferers, such men create a situation quite intolerable for everyone. Such rulers illegally gratify themselves at the cost of all comforts of the citizens. And thus the chaste Mother Earth cries to see the pitiable conditions of her sons, both men and animals. That is the future of the world in the age of Kali. When irreligiously, when irreligiously prevails most prominently, and in the absence of a suitable king to curb irreligious tendencies, educating the people systematically in the teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam will clear up the hazy atmosphere of corruption, bribery, blackmail, etc.
Text 28, Chapter 1, Chapter 17. Iti dharma mahim chaiva santa santva itva maharada nishatam adabe kadgam kalai dharma hetave. Iti thus, dharmam, the personality of religion, mahim, the earth, cha also eva as, santa santva itva, after pacifying, Maharada, the general who could fight alone with thousands of enemies, Nishatam, sharp, Adabe, took up Khadgam, sword, Kalaye, to kill the personified Kali, Adharma, irreligion, Hetave, the root cause. Translation: Maharaja Parikshit, who could fight 1,000 enemies single handedly, thus pacified the personality of religion on the earth. Then he took up his sharp sword to kill the personality of Kali, who is the cause of all irreligion. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. As described above, the personality of Kali is he who deliberately commits all kinds of sinful acts which are forbidden in the revealed scriptures. This age of Kali will certainly be full of all activities of Kali, but this doesn't mean that the leaders of society, the executive heads, the learned, and the intelligent men, or above all, the devotees of the Lord, should sit down tightly and become callous to the reactions of the age of Kali. In the rainy season, certainly there will be profuse rainfalls, but that doesn't mean that men should not take means to protect themselves from the rains. It is the duty of the executive heads of state and others to take all necessary actions against the activities of Kali or the persons influenced by the age of Kali. And Maharaja Parikshit is a ideal executive head of the state, for at once he was ready to kill the personality of Kali with his sharp sword. The administrator should not simply pass resolutions for anti-corruptional steps, but they must be ready with sharp swords to kill the persons creating corruptions from the angle of vision of the recognized ashras. The administrators cannot prevent corrupt activities by allowing wine shops. They must at once close all shops of intoxicating drugs and wine and force punishment, even by death, for those who indulge in habits of intoxication of all description. That is the way of stopping the activities of Kali. as exhibited herein by Maharaja Parikshit, the Maharada.
तं जिघंसुमभिप्रेत्य विहाय नृपरञ्जनं तत्पादमूलं शिराशा समगद्बाह्य विभला
Sanskrit student. Everybody knows you.
Tam him Jighamsum, willing to kill, Abhipretya, knowing it well, Vihaya, leaving aside, Nripa Lanchanam, the dress of a king, Tat Padar Mulam, at his feet, Shirasha, by the head, Samagat, fully surrendered, Baya Vihivala, under pressure of fearfulness. Translation. When the personality of Kali understood that the king was willing to kill him, he at once abandoned the dress of a king and said, and under pressure of fear, completely surrendered to him, bowing his head. Purport. The royal dress of the personality of Kali is artificial. The royal dress is suitable for a king or a kshatriya, but when a lower class man artificially dresses himself as a king, his real identity is disclosed by the challenge of a bona fide kshatriya like Maharaj Parikshit. A real kshatriya never surrenders. He accepts the challenge of his rival kshatriya, and he fights either to die or to win. Surrender is unknown to real kshatriya. In the age of Kali, there are so many pretenders just and posed like administrators or executive heads, but their real identity is disclosed when they are challenged by a real kshatriya. Therefore, when the artificially dressed personality of Kali saw that to fight Maharaj Parikshit was beyond his ability, he bowed down his head like a subordinate and gave up his royal dress.
Text 30, Canto 1, Chapter 17. Patitam padayorvira kripaya deenavachalaha sharanyo navadichlokya aha chedam hasanyivam. Patitam, fallen, padayo, at the feet, Veera, the hero, Kripaya, out of compassion, Deenavachalaha, kind to the poor, Sharanyaha, one who is qualified to accept surrender, no, not, Avadit, did kill, Slokya, one who is worthy of being sung, Aha, said Cha also, Idam, this, Hasan, smiling, Iva, like. Translation. Maharaja Parikshit, who was qualified to accept surrender and worthy of being sung in history, did not kill the poor, surrendered and fallen Kali, but smiled compassionately, for he was kind to the poor. Purported by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Even an ordinary Kshatriya does not kill a surrendered person. And what to speak of Maharaja Parikshit, who was by nature compassionate and kind to the poor. He was smiling because the artificially dressed Kali had disclosed his identity as a lower class man, and he was thinking how ironic it was that although no one was saved from his sharp sword when he desired to kill, the poor lower class Kali was spared by his timely surrender. Maharaja Parikshit's glory and kindness are therefore sung in history. He was a kind and compassionate emperor, fully worthy of accepting surrender even from his enemy. Thus, the personality of Kali was saved by the will of providence.
Gantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Today we read until Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1 Chapter 17 Text 30. We will continue reading tomorrow starting from text 31. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Guru Cherana Padma Kevala Bakati Sadma. Shri Guru Cherana Padma Vandamu Isavadana Mate. Jehara Prasadi Vai Baba Toriya Jai. Krishna Prapti Hoi Jahan Hoi Te. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitate Koriya Kya. Harana Kori Ho Mani Asha. Shri Guru Cherani Rati Aise Uttama Gati. प्रसादे पूरे सर्वा आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाशा जाते वेदे काय जहरा चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदामा जैनारा बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदामा जैनारा बंधु लोकेना लोकेरा जीवाना आहा प्रभु कोरो दो या देहा मोरे पादा छाया ये बेजाज गुसुक त्रिभुवाना प्रभु कोरो दोया देहा मोरे पादा छाया ये बेजाज गुसुक त्रिभुवाना शिला प्रभुपाद पतिता पावाना जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी निति नामिने माओ विष्णुपदाय नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशधारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेश जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गणधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nityai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nityai Gaura Hari Bol. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is a perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take the shelter of your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.